Hello, I'm Jonathan from Shooting Stuff. Today I'm going to share with you a little bit of information about the Glock magazines. The very early Glock magazines were characterized by an inability to fall out of the pistol reliably while they were still partially loaded. And that was as a result of expansion that took place here. The metalwork on the inside wasn't stiff enough. Competitive shooters quickly learned to adjust the starting number of rounds so that they always had 6 or less, in which case the old mags would fall free reliably. Glock quickly solved that issue. The more modern magazines are characterized by a different scenario of the holes, where the plate on the inside is far more clearly visible than on the early Gen 1 magazines. These generally are strong enough and stiff enough that even with 14, 15 rounds in the magazine or full magazines, they will still fall reliably from the pistol. One of the issues with Glock magazines and any magazine that falls into the dirt is they get dirty. Although Glock magazines are particularly reliable and particularly tolerant to muck and such like, they just don't give too many hassles. You still need to clean them occasionally. If I look at the bottom of these two, the Gen 1 was a nice solid base. This is a later generation 2 or 3 thereabouts, and here is a Gen 5 with yet a different configuration of floor plate, and the internals that go with them are also different. So this was a fairly easy one to clean. The indents that held us in place were not too bad and easy enough to remove. But some people during reloads cause these things to come off by applying too much force in that direction, and I never suffered that problem, but apparently some people did. So Glock needed to make them more resilient on the bottom. Later mags, apart from beefing up the internals so that they would reload better, were also pretty much impossible to remove because they now have a plate on the inside that locks into place, and that's what you can see in this little hole here. So to remove this, you need to get that plate out of the way, and our trusty Glock tool is the best way to do that. Depress that, and then pulling forward on the tool while at the same time compressing the sides slightly to assist these things to move out the way. This plate and the internals come out. Very simple to clean these off. I normally just wipe them off with a dry rag, but Glock being Glock, is very easy to wash in hot soapy water or your favorite solvent. Once they're clean, the simple process to reinstall them. The angled or chamfered or rounded part goes to the front. Nice flat piece to the back. Slide this from the front of the mag towards the rear, and it locks into place nice and securely. The stickers indicate this is one of my competition mags that has been checked a few times at competition. So very easy to disassemble. And 1, 3, 5, same principle. Install, pull to the front with a bit of a squeezing, and you need to put a lot of pressure to get the Gen 5s to disassemble. Very similar configuration. There's a extra little pin at the back to help keep the spring in the right place and not to move around too much, but it works very much the same way. And the Gen 5 magazines are characterized now by an orange follower, which makes them a little bit more visible in the window as you loading them. You can count the number of rounds a little bit easier because of that. It's quite common for the spring to twist as it's used. Out of habit, I kind of always untwist and stretch them. That's not something that normally makes any material difference, but it does make me feel like I've actually done something useful. But yeah, it doesn't make a difference. You don't need to do that. Change your springs annually, depending on use, and then you'll be good in any case. Reassembly, very, very simple to just, like we did with the earlier one, lock it into place and it's done. Keep your mags clean. They'll give you more time to shoot.